2022 has been a pretty wild year for Yeezy brand, but they've still got a bunch of upcoming sneakers left to drop this year. And out of those pairs that are left to drop this year, I gotta say today's one might just be one of my favorites. So let's take a look. And here we have the box. Good old Yeezy boxes, just the brown cardboard. Of course, you got the 350 text and the boost on the side, sizing tags and everything. So let's slide these open and let me show you guys today's brand new pair of Yeezy 350s. This is the Salt Core colorway. The latest Yeezy 350 to release, and they are calling this one the Salt Core colorway, which previously was known as the Jade Ash, but I will confirm that on the box it actually does say Salt Core. I don't know, I kind of liked Jade Ash as the nickname, but salt is something that's deeply rooted in Yeezy history, but we'll get into all of that in a second. Today's video is sponsored by Manscaped.com. Manscaped is the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene. They have got the best tools and liquid formulations for the three big odor zones, the body, the butt, and the ball, which the all-in-one Performance Package 4.0 that they sent me will cover it all. Here is the Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer. I was actually surprised at how nice this trimmer feels in hand. It is super good quality. This shaver also has skin-safe technology, which reduces nicks and cuts, which you really do not want to get down there. It is the first fully waterproof shaver that I have ever had, which is super underrated because shaving in the shower is so convenient. It charges easily, quickly, and lasts up to 90 minutes on a full charge. It's got an LED light to guide you as you're shaving, and it's also got a travel lock for when you're traveling, so it doesn't just switch on in your bag. Also included in the Performance Package 4.0 is two products that I never knew I needed: the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Chuck on the Crop Preserver for all-day body odor protection, and the Crop Reviver to quickly refresh the area whenever you need it. Also included is the Weed Whacker, which is going to take care of your ear and nose hairs. Now the cool part is that for a limited time, you can get all of this plus 2 free gifts: the leather shed bag to keep all of your grooming essentials inside, and a comfy anti-chafing pair of boxers. Not only that, but they'll also give you 20% off and free international shipping when you use the promo code ElliotPage at checkout. Once again, use promo code ElliotPage at checkout to receive 20% off. Honestly guys, it's a great offer, so be sure to take advantage. Thank you so much Manscaped for sponsoring today's video, but let's get back to it. I think this pair is actually pretty confusing because of the very similar colorways that we've seen. There's actually 3 colorways that were all leaked and rumored around the same time. The first one we actually saw a release of, which was in September, the Slate colorway. We then saw this one pop up, but then also a mysterious Granite colorway, which I think is pretty much identical to this. It just is more of a grayish hue. All 3 pairs have the exact same SPLY stripe in black running across the lateral side of the sneaker. And that stripe is something we've seen make a huge comeback here in 2022 with all of the different restocks that Yeezy brand has done, like the Beluga 350s and also some of the colorways from the Black Friday pack. Those all had a drop, and of course we had like the Dazzling Blues, which were kind of like a little bit of a remix on an OG colorway. Either way, before we get too deep into this, let me quickly run through some of the release details because these are right around the corner. So as of right now, the Salt Core Yeezy 350 is expected to drop on October the 22nd, and they're going to be retailing for £200 here in the UK or $230 if you're out in the US. So listen, I know you guys have been hearing a lot about the current news that involves obviously Yeezy brand and Adidas splitting up. I know that that's still a thing and it's kind of up in the air on what's going to exactly happen. And yes, currently according to the latest news, it does look like Adidas and Yeezy will be going their separate ways in the very near future, which honestly I think is a shame. I think a lot of what Adidas and Yeezy have been able to accomplish with their collaboration, a lot of the sneakers that they have brought to the market, I've been a huge fan of. And if you're someone who is a fan of specifically the Yeezy 350 model, or if you're someone who's just on the market to grab and scoop up a new pair of the Yeezy 350, well, here's what we know as of right now. We've got 5 pairs of Yeezy 350 V2s that are going to be dropping this year. There is the Salt Core colorway. There's going to be the Granite colorway that we just spoke about. It's kind of just like these, just a little bit more gray. The Triple Black Onyx colorway is going to have a restock next month. The Dark Belugas apparently are going to be dropping in December, and it looks like they're going to cap the year off with the Dark Salt colorway, kind of an MX version of this kind of grayish or darker brown color. Now, in my opinion, and I could be wrong when those do eventually release, but I think this might be my favorite out of all of them. I am seriously liking this colorway, and no, it's nothing revolutionary in terms of the design or anything. In fact, it is very, very similar to what we just saw with the Slate colorway. They pretty much just replaced the all-over beige with this super monochromatic salt color. And I say salt because it's actually a very Yeezy color. They've used it on a bunch of different Yeezy models in the past. The 700 V1s had a salt colorway, the V3s recently with the fade salt. There was the Yeezy 500 that had a salt version, and now more recently this one. I'm not entirely sure if they're all like an exact color match, but I think in the general DNA of the color scheme, it's relatively similar. It's a mixture of greenish and bluish. Now, both of those colors I think mix together to have this ashy tone to it. Like, for example, the hoodie I'm wearing is a very light ashy blue. And as you can see, it's almost a color match, but you can definitely see the green that exists in this salt color. It has a really interesting dulled down earthy tone to it, which I think makes it look super cool when you're actually wearing it on foot. I do think, however, the biggest caveat to Yeezy brand bringing this version of the Yeezy 350 back from 2016 is the fact that they reused the exact same shape and the same knit materials. Now, obviously it looks cool because it's like, oh, an OG Yeezy coming back from the day, but when you're wearing it, it feels very different to a current Yeezy 350. Example would be this bone colorway. They dropped relatively recently, and they've got a much thinner, slightly more stretchy knit to the upper. And just with the knit material, there's a pretty significant difference when you're wearing it on foot. For example, when I'm wearing this bone colorway, I just go a half size up, and that fits me just fine. They're nice and snug. However, with this one, if I get the exact same size, it's way tighter. So in terms of sizing, I would actually recommend with the Salt Core colorway, or almost any of these black stripe variants that you're seeing dropping here in 2022, is go a full size up. Now, if you're someone who is maybe comparing this colorway to the Slate that dropped last month, well, I gotta say there are a few different things that kind of made me prefer this one. For one, I think this colorway is just something a little bit different. The Slates are super earth toned and something that a lot of different Yeezy colorways have from the past, but this one is a little bit more something new. I also like the fact that with that black stripe, you can also see a lot of the other black knit speckling on the medial side of the shoe, which is something that I didn't quite see as obviously with the Slate colorway. Now, another very small detail which I do really like about this colorway is the actual ankle area. This piping that moves around that region is a slightly different color, or at least looks slightly more green than the rest of the upper. But as for everything else, I mean, you're getting a Yeezy 350. You know exactly what you're getting with this pair of sneakers. A very comfortable, very versatile option that I think at this point is no surprise why it is Yeezy brand's most popular silhouette. It's a great option for almost anyone's sneaker rotation. You can easily chuck these things on. They're immediately recognizable. Either way, guys, listen, I'm gonna be here right till the end of the year checking out all the latest Yeezy colorways, so if you want to join me for that, hit the subscribe button, chuck me a follow on Instagram. With that being said, I'd love to know what you guys think of the Yeezy 350 Salt Core. Let me know down in the comments. But with that being said, thank you so much for coming through, hanging out for yet again another one. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one, but until then,